40 and 24 hours. Okay, you get 24 hours in a day. That was one of the technical. You did 12 hours a day, 12 hours a night. So to break down a perfect day, you're gonna spend 2 hours in traffic in Atlanta going back and forth, 285, 20, or 75. So that's 2 of those hours. You're gonna spend 8 hours at work, possibly, if you stay for a day. 7 hours of sleep. I'm not gonna give you 8 hours of sleep because you're gonna toss and turn, things of that nature. You're gonna spend 4 hours in a relationship, arguing back and forth with your mate, with your kids, with yourself. You're gonna spend 3 hours trying to relax. That's in a perfect world. That doesn't exist. I'm gonna give you some real world examples. As I said, 75 to 85 to 20, you're gonna be in traffic. Car might break down. Somebody else's car might break down. You're just stuck. Unless you know the back streets. If you know back streets, you're gonna cut around some things. And even with that situation, you're still gonna get stuck. Because like a couple weeks ago when it rained out down there at Clark University, them people was trapped. They couldn't even take the back streets. You're gonna be dealing with your children, your mate, so therefore that's the hours in your day. You're gonna have some problems with your cars. You might wanna go to a restaurant. Customer service is not what it's supposed to be that day, so there goes some more time out of your day. Even doing all that, you're trying to keep things going, and you're trying to use these 24 hours to be productive. What I'm trying to show you is basically you don't have any time to waste. If you were sent here by the courts, you're already messed up, you're in the system. But you can clean that up. It's gonna take a minute, but you can clean it up. I'm gonna skip the rest of this, I'm gonna get off into my story because it's easier. 5 minutes is all it took for me to mess with my life, alter some things. I was somewhere where I shouldn't have been, doing something I shouldn't have been doing, trying to hustle. I got a baby on the way. I should have been going down here to the military to take this test and head off to the Navy, but I'm gonna try to get off this last pack. It was red flags there. My partner told me, hey man, I got a deal. It's on your side of town. I got something to do. Why don't you pick it up? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do that. I go up there, 5 minutes, literally, that's all it took. Between the time I pulled in and the time I walked through the Michigan Department of Correction doors, 5 minutes, man. 5 minutes, that's all it took, because I wasn't thinking, or I was thinking wrong. Long story short, got into a shootout. I hit a cat 3 times. I go to court. I'm a kid. I don't know what to say. I had a paid attorney. Got a public defender. I had a paid attorney. But because he wanted the money, it was election year, he sold me out. He told me, don't say nothing. I'm gonna take you in there. You're gonna get a gun charge. You're gonna be back on the streets. That was day 1. Day 2 come around. Okay, we're gonna go in there. You're gonna say this, you're gonna say that. But I'm like, that ain't what happened. But this is what you need to say because you're a kid with a gun, so they're gonna charge you with the gun. That 2 years turned into 7. That 7 turned into 16, as he said, 16 years, 6 days, and 6 months. I just got home 2005. And even during that time, another 5 minutes. Went out to Kansas, it took 5 minutes for me to make another wrong decision. I'm gonna go drop a pack. Thinking because I went and did time, I done got smart. I dropped the pack was to an undercover. That cost me 6 months. That's where the 6 months and 6 days come in. I went back. They came all the way out to Kansas and they got me. Took me back to prison. Couldn't give me a charge, because anything under an ounce in Kansas is a slap on the wrist. But because I went out to Kansas and didn't ask the PO, I told the PO I was going. That's a violation. How did they even find out I was on parole? Well, they pulled me over, my man said, put your finger right here. I've been in prison, so I don't know nothing about technology. I put my finger on a computer. My face popped up real slow. Got on the prison outfit, the last picture that they take before you leave, say absconded. Send me back to Michigan prison. But it's funny. While I was incarcerated, I had made a program something like this. for people to get out, help you get a job, get your social security card, your license, get in college. They call it the pre-release program. So as I'm arguing with the judge and the prosecutor, they're trying to give me a case. The judge is saying, well, he didn't do anything, but he absconded. And, I'm arguing back and forth. They're trying to say I was on the run, but I wasn't on the run. I was working out there, had an ID, showed him all of this. The judge was slicker than I was. I thought I was slick. So he said, we want you to go back to Michigan, take the pre-release program. So when they give it to me, my name is on it. I got two names, King Shemuel Corey Schmidt. I changed my name in '96. So I'm like, Your Honor, I made this program. I don't need to take it. He said, you made it? I said, yeah, that's my name. I changed my name when my father died. I had some legal things going on. I'm going to tell you about that as well. And I said, so I don't need to take that program. I already know it. So he said, well, according to what you did in Michigan, you absconded. I got to send you back. And since you wrote the program, I want you to go back and teach it. Go back for 6 months, teach it to the guys at the prison camp. So I did. I went back. I taught the program. The whole thing was funny is I thought I was slick because I got chances like this. What he gave me was just a short story. I've been locked up my whole life, man. The first time I got locked up, I was 13. I got caught with a sawed-off shotgun, claiming GD. Got off of that situation till my father could buy it. Back then, when I was a kid, you could buy cases. I got off on that. I turned around, I got in trouble. The fall of '86, got into an argument with my girlfriend. My girlfriend was a mail carrier. Me and her had words. Lady across the street said she seen me put my hands on her. I didn't hit her, she hit me. But because she's a mail carrier, that's a federal officer. I go away. They sent me to juvie. Juvie in Michigan, you go to these places, way out in the middle of nowhere. I was there for 16, 17 months, a place called Star Commonwealth. That's where my journey began with education. By me going to Star Commonwealth, doing a few things, I had a scholarship in '87 that I didn't know nothing about that I would use in 2006. Go through the program, I come home, May of '87. Again, 5 minutes. I want y'all to keep listening. I want you to hear this time. It don't take no time to mess up your life. I got out May of '87. I got a job. I made a baby. I took the ASVAB for the military, tried to drop off that pack. 5 minutes, now I'm headed to prison. So when I go in front of the judge, y'all look at me. I don't look like a street cat. I don't look like I'm about that life at all. This is the look that I had going into the courtroom, like this, yes sir, no sir. That judge looked at that paper and he looked at me, he said, Mr. Sawyer, you might have him fooled. He said, but I'm not fooled. Acquittal, 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 dismissal, intimidation of witnesses. He said, do you see that sapling out there? I didn't know what a sapling was, because I ain't been to school. It's a baby tree. So I'm like, well, what's a sapling? He said, you see that baby tree out there? I said, yeah. He said, it'll be a mighty oak about time you come home. And because I didn't know mathematics, he didn't sentence me like everybody else got sentenced in years. He was 216 months to 432. Now remember, this attorney told me to go in there and don't say nothing. So I'm thinking that 216 months at 432, I'm thinking that's what the attorney told me, 7 years. I'm 18. 7 years ain't nothing to an 18-year-old. Me, it wasn't. So I get back to the cell, and I'm asking the guys in the cell, because I know it's 12 months in a year, so I'm trying to do long division. I keep coming up with this 18 to 36. So I asked one of the guys that was back on the grid, I'm like, old school. I'm like, don't you divide this into this? What's this top number? He looked at it. He said, that's your years. I said, man, you don't know what you're talking about. I ain't talking to you. So I go to the next guy, and I'm asking him. Everybody's saying the same thing. I don't want to believe I just got 18 to 36 years. I'm 18. So when they delivered the mail that night, I got hit with a double whammy. So the officer come by, they passing out the mail. She just shaking her head. She's like, baby, what did you do? I said, I ain't hit nothing. And I said, how much time did they give me, Miss Folks? She said, baby, they gave you 18 to 36 years. My heart sunk. This is 1988. There was an artist by the name of Prince. He had made a song called 1999, Party Over Out of Time. I always thought the world was going to end, man. You can't see that far into the future. So that's one thing she hit me with. And then she hit me with, I got to backtrack the story. The day of sentencing, my son's mother was in the back acting a fool, so I thought, she going into labor in the courtroom. So when my attorney come tell me she going into labor, like I said, I'm a kid. I'm like, man, tell her kid she wait. You know, I don't know nothing about this. I'm a kid, man. So I get back, like I said, the lady's passing out the mail, and she said, now I also got to tell you, you got a son. And I'm like, what? She had a little boy. And I was like, man, tell her come about her business. I ain't never coming home. He ain't gonna need me. I got 18 years. So I go through the system. I do my time. I start off at a high security. I don't know what y'all call it down here, but I start off at level 4. You have to Michigan, you have to earn your way down. If any of y'all ever seen Shawshank Redemption, that's real. Ain't no friends in prison. I've seen guys, excuse my language, if I'm gonna speak to them for real. I done seen the toughest guys in my neighborhood get bent over. Serious. Serious. It's hard to imagine a guy doing that, because you're supposed to have relations with a woman in the perfect world, as I said. But in prison, it's a dog-eat-dog world. But these guys I grew up with, who ran the streets, who did everything, but in there, ain't no guns in there. Ain't no homeboys in there like you got now. You got a gazillion gang members and cats claim gang. When they get in there, cats claim Muslim. Like I said, I don't know how they do things down here. But you got guys that join certain things, but even in those organizations, stuff happened to you. So you gotta prove your point. So the gentleman that you see before you, no glasses, no mustache, clean shaven, 18. Guys who've been down a while, sitting back watching you. You pretty. You can't take nothing like that. If somebody call you pretty, you gotta react. Some guys like, I wanna go home. Man, we ain't going home for 20 and 30 years. You better handle that or they gonna handle you. So, going to the store one night, I'm in the line. Somebody tried to cut the line. I threw an elbow out, hit him in the neck. I'm gonna tell my husband. I'm like, what? You a man, he a man. I ain't trying to hear all that, blah, blah, blah. Everybody like, ooh, man, that's blah, blah, blah's wife. You done messed up, man. I ain't trying to hear that. Y'all corrupt. Y'all perverted. I can't tell these men this. This is their life. Here go the start of my drama. So now I got a situation. I'm either gonna handle this or I'm gonna be handled. Now my out date was October 2002. So I get in the situation. My uncles come, he like, what happened? I said, blah, blah, blah. And he like, you got to handle that. And I said, man, I'm trying to go home. He said, either you want to go home or you finna be somebody's woman for the rest of your life. He said, because when he do whatever he want to do, words hit the yard quick. And it's going to get to that other location. You better do what you got to do. I end up stabbing somebody. Now here it is, 2002, then went to 2003, 2003, then went to 2004, 2004, then went to 2005, because I keep messing up, because I'm putting myself in situations. So finally, you know, like he was saying, I kept going to the hole. I don't know what y'all call it down here, segregation. I go to the hole. Every time I go to the hole, it's a GD book and it's a Bible in there. I ain't trying to hear all that. I don't want to talk to God, and I really ain't trying to learn nothing about school because I didn't think school could help me in any kind of way. So I keep going to the hole, Finally, this last time they sent me to the hole, they wouldn't let me get my little rap magazine, Swords and Vibes. That's what I like to do. I was looking at the pictures of that, making out little words. Started reading the Bible, man. I like the Bible, the Old Testament, but they always go on the board. They own some gang stuff in the Bible. I'm like, yeah, I could rock with this. They killing everybody who don't agree with them, who don't look like them. Oh, this is my type of guy. I can go with this. So as I started reading the Bible, learning some things, I'm looking over here at the GD book, and I'm starting to put the words together. I can read. Never knew I could really read. I can read. I can understand. Every time I get out the hole, they would put me in school. I don't want to be in school. So finally I talked to one of the instructors and I said, let's make a deal, Mr. Langston. Like, look, if I can pass this GED test, just let me be, man. If I don't pass the pre-test, I'll go ahead and do what you want me to do, man. I'll do the whole boarding class into social studies. I don't like social studies. I'm not good. So took the test, passed the pre-test. He thought I cheated. He sent me up front to the control center to take the test in front of some officers. I smashed out because now I'm away from my peers and I can focus. Smashed that test. They put me on the whole test, as they call it. Took the whole test, and on the back of the GED, and any of y'all that have it that's gonna get it, it'll show you where you scored percentile in the nation. That's against cats that's in high school, seniors and all of that. I smashed mine. In certain areas, I scored higher than most high school seniors. So I'm like, okay, past that, but I still need something to do because I'm on the yard shooting dice. Cell phones have just come out. I'm on the phone, I'm doing everything I ain't supposed to do. One day sitting on the yard, some ladies walk by. We all in the waiting pit, and I'm like, who's that? And they're like, oh, them the teachers. I'm like, what teachers? I ain't never seen them over there. What class? I'm gonna take them class. They're like, no, that's college. And I'm like, they got college up in here? So my intent was to go to school just to talk to one of the ladies, because I don't want to do this time. I'm going to escape any way I can in my mind, just talk to her. I started going to class, man. I took business, found out I was pretty good, because as they were talking about cars and houses, every question they gave me, I was just putting dope in there. They want you to sell a house, I'm selling dope. So if I got this many grants, he want this many. If he moved that, how much more I got to have plus 10%? You know, I'm getting the concept, but the lady told me, she said, that's good, but I need you to change your terminology because everybody in the world don't sell dope. She said, and selling dope is what got you in here. I'm like, I ain't got no drug case. She's like, yeah, you're right. You got attempt murder. That's all related. See, I kept putting things in little boxes, you know, instead of spreading it out, looking at it. If I hadn't been trying to sell drugs, them cats wouldn't have tried to stick me up. I would have been in the Navy. I would be home with my son, mother, raising my son. I raised my son from behind bars, man, and that's hard. We still have a strained relationship. He only stayed a couple miles down the highway from me. The hardest part was my son come see me. As a kid, I could tell him daddy in school. He don't know no better. Man, one day out the blue, we sitting out there and he just looking at me. He won't come to me. He just looking at me. And my mother's like, and he's like, Daddy, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah. He said, why you in jail? I said, who told you I was in jail? He said, we came through up there, these bars closed, and there's a bunch of police up there with guns. So you gotta be in jail, because bad people go to jail. Oh my, man. He might have been 6 or 7. If I looked at my mother like, he ain't talking to me. So I said, well, Daddy did something, he was young. I was bad, so they got Daddy on time. This is why I messed up. I said, when I stop being bad, I can come home. Like, he's 6. The years go by. My son asks a lot of questions. So he get like maybe 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. He come up, I catch his pants sagging. He got a little hat on. I'm like, man, no. And he tell me, he was like, Daddy, I want to be like you when I grow up. I said, no, you don't. You want to be better than me. My teacher told me you used to do this, you used to do that. And I'm like, who's your teacher? His teacher is one of my partners that used to be a GD. He done turned his life around, so now I'm offended. Because I'm like, while I'm out here acting a fool, when did y'all stop? That same summer I caught the case, all I know is 3 homeboys disappeared. They went off to college. They went to Eastern Michigan. Ain't nobody told me nothing. They got me thinking they still out here set shirt. No. They done went somewhere and pledged and all that. I was like, okay. So he said, Daddy, when you coming out? You told me when you stop being bad, they'll let you out. You must still be being bad. And I'm like, man, so now I got to explain to him that I did something and I'm going to be on timeout until they say I can go home. But I never could tell him who they is. To keep asking, who's they? Who's they? Let's fast forward. I wrote my son when he was probably about 13. hadn't heard from him for a while. So I called him one day. I said, man, what's going on? How come I ain't heard from him? Mama said he's back in the hole.